Hello and welcome to yet another episode of A Day in Film. It is today's film. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. If you can't tell, there's a monster right behind me. Anyway, today's film will be Pan's Labyrinth, directed by Guillermo del Toro. Or, I think it's... I don't want to say it. I'm gonna embarrass myself. So yeah, Pan's Labyrinth is an early 2000s film, I want to say. This is a film I've been meaning to watch for a while, and I believe my first Guillermo del Toro movie. I've heard a lot of great things about him. He's very important right now, even in the field that is film awareness. He's very vocal about things like AI and paying people fair wages, things like that. He's very passionate. So this guy's a good force in the film industry. And for some reason, I had this perception of Guillermo del Toro that he was like a not a snobby film guy, but like he was more of a positive force than an actual talented filmmaker. And again, this is my first movie of his. I never watched Pacific Rim, or I saw like 20 minutes of it. I couldn't really tell you anything about it. I never watched. Sorry for right up there. I never watched a lot of those movies, so finally seeing one was a very big moment for me, and one of his films that's completely in Spanish, which I do definitely appreciate. And that's the first thing I actually have to go over. Guillermo del Toro, and so this is a very personal thing. Sorry guys. This is a very personal thing for me. I would regularly go to my grandparents' house for the longest time when I was a young kid, and they would always have some random old Mexican movie on, in which obviously they all spoke Spanish. And watching this movie, as silly as it sounds, this felt like a huge nostalgia trip for me. Now, I can't say whether or not they ever had Pan's Labyrinth on when we were around, but it feels like something that they could have had on, and because it's all in Spanish, they could understand it. They really only speak Spanish. And in a way, it felt very comforting. This is my first time seeing the film, but watching it, this felt like my 1000th time seeing the film. It felt so familiar and so warm. I don't know, it could just be completely me. I honestly could not tell you, but there's something about it that I just love. To get onto the actual film, I haven't done my plot synopsis yet, sorry. This film follows a young girl named, I'm forgetting. I'll flash a picture of her right there. It follows her and her mom, who will also be flashed up there, being moved to a Spanish general or commander, something like that, his camp, because the mother is having the commander's kid. So, and then also the little girl, who will flash up there again, finds out that she is the descendant of an underground king, and needs to complete trials to get access to the underground again. So this film automatically has two very different stories. Obviously, it has the main story, the soldier resistance. I think it's right before World War II story, and then it also has the more fantastical little girl going on adventure story. And that's something that this film does excellently. This film manages to balance both of those very different stories. I mean, you just heard how different they were, and if you've seen the movie, you know exactly how different they are. This movie balances the differences wonderfully. It never feels like either side's getting too much time or more time than it deserves. Obviously, the military story is the main story. It follows, I almost said Chevrolet. It follows, I think her name is Mercedes, the commander, the mom, the daughter, Olija, something like that. I'm completely forgetting, but her name is something like that. It follows all these very important characters, and the fantastical story basically only follows Pan, or Fawn, or Fern, something like that. I'm really bad with names, if you can tell, guys. It's really obvious. I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera. Okay, never mind. And so, yeah, this movie does a great job of balancing things out. To talk more technically about the movie, I think it does a brilliant job at everything it's trying to do. This is a very blue movie. I really appreciate how blue this movie is, which is a weird thing to say, but the color grading is very personal, but at the same time, it's not like stuck in its ways. And I'm not dissing Whiplash when I say this, but this movie isn't green and yellow. This movie is a multitude of colors, but mainly blue and yellow. I hope you could hear that. This movie outside is pretty much entirely blue. There are some scenes where the trees look blue, which sounds like a bad thing, but it actually works really well for the style that Guillermo del Toro was trying to deliver. And then inside, everything is brown and yellow, and it's very warm in this huge wooden mansion. It's things like that that are... give me 1 second, guys. Hold on. Sorry about that, folks. Forgive me if my train of thought is a little off. The monster wanted out. Yeah, the special effects in this movie, I don't think I've talked about them yet. Incredible. Fawn, I think his name is. Incredible costume design, fully practical to my knowledge. Looks brilliant. The skin guy, whose name I'm forgetting, with the iconic, that guy, his like costume and his makeup and all that, brilliant. Even the limited use of CG, like for the fairies mainly, still doesn't look bad. Maybe it looks a little distracting and out of place, but it doesn't look like absurdly horrible, which is a very good thing. This movie, I'd say this movie's probably overall like a 70-30 split practical CG. There are some CG things that don't look great, mainly the explosion, or the explosions, the handful of them that there are. Those all look pretty bad. But then there are practical effects that look really good, like the blood. There are like at least 2 torture scenes in this movie, sorta, and both of them look excellent. They look just like the blood looks all like the guy is dripping blood down his chin, spitting it up. It's really disgusting. Really great stuff. The acting is very good. The main young girl, whose name I'm forgetting again, I'll flash her right up there again. Her acting is incredible. For her age, and just in general, she's a very talented actor. She acts around Fawn very well, her mother very well, the commander very well, or Sir, General, whatever. She plays it very straight, which is a good thing. She does it incredibly well. And everyone else, for that matter, does a really good job at selling the very downbeaten, almost depressing setting. No, it just is depressing setting of, I want to say it's France. No, not France. Not France. Spain, sometime before World War II, because they read the D-Day paper. I don't know if I have much more to say about the movie, though. I'm sorry my thoughts were so sporadic. I'm sorry the monster distracted me. The score is very good, too. I almost forgot to mention that. Incredible original soundtrack. And even the mixed in, like, Spanish music that was in there, really good. Overall, I'd give this movie an 8 out of 10. And I think on rewatch, it could even be bumped up to a 9. This is a very special movie. A very, I don't want to say iconic, but I think iconic wouldn't be the most inaccurate thing to call a movie like this. I definitely recommend you watch it. I know it's not really a horror movie, but I mean, there are some pretty gross scenes in this movie. Flash of a picture of that badass frog. But yeah, with that all out of the way, I hope you have a wonderful day.
And I will see you in Fawn's Labyrinth. Mwah! Focus on my camera.